Speech number one will be Brett Patterson and Mr. Evaluator. The evaluator will be Eric Jensen.
Brett is speaking from the Public Relations Manual. His speech is the persuasive approach. Brett's objectives are direct a persuasive appeal to the audience's self-interests using a combination of fact and emotion in a speech delivered in such a manner that it appears extemporaneous. Persuade the audience to adopt your viewpoint by the use of standard persuasive techniques. Use at least one visual aid to enhance the audience's understanding. The time is 5 to 7 minutes.
Okay, Brett Patterson has worked in the technology field for more than 15 years. One thing he has seen in that time is that change is constantly happening. And it's the people and the companies that can adapt to change the quickest that become the most successful. He is here today to try and persuade us that if it ain't broke, we need to break it. Break it. Brett Patterson, break it.
How many of you have heard this phrase? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. We've all heard it, right? What does it mean? What does this phrase really mean? This phrase implies that what we're doing is working. It can't be improved, so we need to leave it alone. It works, right? Why mess with perfection? Now, here's a definition for you. Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. How many have heard that before? And what's that the definition of?
Insanity!
Insanity, absolutely. That's the definition of insanity, doing the same thing, expecting something different to happen. Everyone, from business to each and every individual in this room, is always trying to make themselves better. You want more. For businesses, it may mean more profits, may mean more customers, may mean a higher market share. For an individual, it may mean a higher income, better job, or maybe it's just more free time to do the things you really want to do. There's an old axiom that says, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. I have never seen any system in my IT experience. I've never seen any application. I've never seen any process or any procedure that can't, in some way or another, be improved. Anybody remember these guys? Digital Equipment Corporation.
Yep.
They created this mini computer called the VAX. Wildly popular. Very successful. Made DEC, Digital Equipment Corporation, very successful. As a matter of fact, at their peak, DEC was the second largest employer in the state of Massachusetts, second only to the state government. That's the VAX. Since they were so successful, Digital Equipment Corporation said, this is it. This is our bread and butter. This is what we're going to do. And then something happened. In the late 80s, it went from the mini computer to the microcomputer. Now this is a 32-bit system right here. In the 90s, you saw 32-bit systems that fit on your desk. Well, Digital Equipment Corporation didn't have a response to that. And in 1998, they were bought out by Compaq. Well, Compaq bought them because Digital Equipment Corporation had a great overseas market and Compaq did not. But even Compaq couldn't figure out what they were doing with these guys. So Compaq wound up in financial difficulty. Then in 2002, Compaq merged with HP, and today, all you find are Hewlett-Packard. There's no more Digital Equipment Corporation. This is General Shinseki. He's a former U.S. Army Chief of Staff, and he said, if you don't like change, you're going to like irrelevance even less. Wonder how Digital Equipment Corporation feels about irrelevance. Around the same time as DEC experienced their issues, there was another company. They were in the mainframe market, but they were headed down that exact same path. But they recognized what was going on, and they changed. They ventured into this microcomputer market to PCs. They ventured into software. They created a professional services group. They adapted to what was going on in the industry. And today, they're not irrelevant at all. Big Blue is still going quite strong because they continue to recognize what's happening and they continue to change. How often have you heard phrases like this? It's the way it's always been done. Let's stick with what works. Let's not reinvent the wheel. Change for the sake of change. And of course, everybody's favorite, it ain't broke, don't fix it. If you hear these phrases, you need to find those people that are saying them and just give them a good swift kick in the behind. Change happens. No one ever decided to reinvent the wheel. Our cars would look like this, right? Will Rogers says it. I love the way Will Rogers said it. He said that even if you're on the right track, you're going to get run over if you just stand there. Take a look at where you are today. Are you exactly where you want to be? You've got all the money you want, you got the job you want, everything in your life is absolutely perfect. If not, what are you doing differently today than you did yesterday? Because if you're always doing what you've always done, you're going to get what you've always got. 25 years ago, if I was going to go home late, I had to find a payphone, dig a quarter out of my pocket, and call home and say I'm going to be late. Today, I just send a quick text message. 25 years ago, if I needed to do research on a paper for school, I had to go down to the library, I had to go through the card catalog, I had to go find the book, I had to go to the index, I had to find the relevant pages, then I had to sit there and read it all. Today, I Google it. 25 years ago, if I needed directions, I had to get out the map, I had to plot my course, I had to figure out everywhere I needed to go. 10 years ago, I pulled up Google Maps or MapQuest and I just did it that way. Today, I can actually just talk into my phone and say, Denny's Restaurant, Sparks, Nevada, and I got a map right there on my phone by just talking to it. How are you adapting to this changing world? In 1903, the Wright brothers took the first flight. A short 107 years later, we're talking about commercial space travel in 100 years. If you think we're done changing, you're falling behind now. If it ain't broke, break it.